40-inch glory, 18-inch 50s 18. Formula 602, Sid Brand. Oh, Ryan is a drummer, professional drummer, who has things going on Instagram and everything, and a YouTube channel called Vintage Drummer.
Vintage Drummer, that's me.
So
when I first started playing, I was just playing along to Beatles and Rolling Stones, and like not thinking about like, or not even realizing yet that like, oh, Ringo's leading all his fills with his left hand.
With his left hand.
So I would just play them, being right-handed, leading with my right. And like still, to this day, I still, not struggle, but Ringo's a challenge because it's so like
unorthodox.
Yeah. It's like not how you sit down and typically, at least how I would play it,
Yeah.
So it's like, it takes a lot of thought, but it's a fun challenge.
And Charlie Watts has his own peccadillos, idiosyncrasies that musically you can hear, if you know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting because like, his like kind of trajectory, like when he, like early Stones, he's playing mostly match grip.
Yeah.
And he's not doing the lift on 2 and 4. He just plays, like if he's playing, what's an early song? Like Get Off My Cloud, he's just doing.
Hey!
He's not going.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people, like even non-drummers, know about the trademark, lifting of the hand on the backbeat.
Yeah.
And they just assume that he's always done it. So I'll have like people come up to me at shows. They're like our drummers. They're like, hey,
oh, smug.
You weren't lifting your hand on some of those songs, and I have to explain like, because he didn't always do it. He kind of started it around.
Yes, let's clarify this for the love of Christ. What is the story with the Charlie Watts hand pulled up thingy?
The story is, and this is directly from Jim Keltner. So Jim Keltner played double drums with Ringo, Concert for Bangladesh, which was 1971. And if you watch that film, you'll see on some songs, Keltner's kind of letting Ringo take the lead. And it's similar to what he did with Jim Gordon on the Mad Dogs and Englishmen stuff, where he's just kind of like embellishing grooves and like adding little things here and there. But when you do see him playing grooves in Concert at Bangladesh, a lot of times it's just just very. And
that's Keltner.
That's Keltner.
Yeah.
Keltner apparently picked it up from Levon Helm.
Yeah.
And just not even intentionally or, consciously, he just started, Keltner started doing it in his playing. Because he absolutely loved Levon's feel and just his whole thing. Like he wanted more of that in his playing.
Yeah.
And then, so the movie comes out, Concert Bangladesh movie comes out, and Charlie Watts saw it.
Charlie Watts, in and around 70, 71, sees in a movie.
He went to the movie theater by himself. He saw the movie.
By myself.
And also, I think kind of, noted that Keltner was doing that. And I don't know if it was a conscious choice to start doing that.
Yeah.
But he did start doing it around. So you see it a little bit in like 72. By 73, he's doing it more, and then by like 75,
it's just all over the joint. It's just all he does. Yeah.
And the thing with it too is, you'll notice if you really watch him, a lot of times he's not only lifting his hand, but he's also chomping down on the hi-hat on 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Like if he's playing like, he's not just lifting, he's doing this in place of So he's going.
That is Keltner we're talking about, or now are we talking about Charlie?
Now we're talking about Charlie.
Charlie, okay, yeah. So Charlie, so what you were doing, right? So what you were doing there is when your right hand was up, just resting or in that one note, your left hand is striking. Your left foot is hitting the cymbals together to make it as if there is a hi-hat check.
Yeah,
in a certain sense.
Which like you don't hear it.
Yeah, right.
But when I play it.
You notice there's a certain mojo to it?
Yeah, the feel of it is totally different from just playing, you know. So that's without doing, you know, and then with. It kind of like lays back a little bit more.
Yeah, it lays the feel back, but also too sonically, you hear it. I mean, you hear the, you just don't hear the
right.
You hear yeah, that's cool, man.
And the other thing he would do,
I mean, it's
instead of just playing, you know, 2 and 4, he would do like, you know, a little like pickup note before each backbeat. A lot of times, not always, but you know.
like that pop, like you don't really, and the way, so that's how I see normally when I would think of that sticking, I'd think of it that. Now go back to do what you were just doing, Watts, the exact same thing you were playing, but with the Stone song you had in mind doing it. Oh yeah, yeah, it's just like a. Okay, so now what we're doing, so you use the left, now the technique you have with your left hand that you've developed, that's not something real easy to do, to have a nice, reliable, because what you're almost doing is it's almost like a little buzz. If you were to line up the things, you have the main snare beat, the little accent prior, and then a little buzz almost. So it's like, right? Ultimately. But now that is very much a, it's funny because you have, here's the thing. You have like a lot of people in their ignorance will consider, just offhand, it'll be like Ringo and or even Charlie Watts. Be like, man, those guys aren't drummers because they're people, is you have, you in a certain way you have great drummers almost like mathematically, and then you have great musicians who also, with their gig, is whatever instrument they happen to play. They only kind of play it as well or not as well as they think, but there they are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course, and all I know is Charlie, I mean, and that also goes for Keith Moon too. Like when you have a great, your feel you have for a 19th Nervous Breakdown, and what you're, there's a thing that those 60s British guys, if we're just keeping it, let's say with the Stones or whatever, it's a little bit of kind of like intentional, kind of, not to be awkward, but like a straddle between swung and straight.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like ding ding dong ding 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 dong ding 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 dong ding 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 dong dong. You know what I mean? And dude, you got because they do that in like my generation almost. The original recording has that mojo.
It's like the same exact thing.
Yeah.
You know.
See, this is a specialty of yours. You do this hardcore now. Let's give this a whirl.
Yeah,
Ready?
I mean, like 19th Nervous Breakdown.
Okay. Yeah, dude, right there. It's like you're right at the. That's what's so great about, like with the versus like the click, like straight 1-0 time, or if it's in fourths or thirds, or they're a rational number where it gets close to perfection, close to something. But as a musician, you can keep it consistently there. Like that whole time, you're like, ding, 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 ding. It's hardcore,
The thing
man.
with that recording, and like you don't really notice it until you're playing to it. Like it picks up in spots.
Yeah.
And then it kind of.
You talking about this specific 19 Nervous
19th
Breakdown?
Nervous
Yeah.
Breakdown.
Yeah.
And same thing because I did a video for my
generation
Same
too,
thing
yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah.
Because there's all those breaks in the verses.
Yeah.
And like sometimes Keith would come back in and he would just like rush it a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's only playing for like what? Like 4 bars until the next break.
Yeah, right.
So it's like you don't notice it as much. Yeah, but that's the same, kind of thing. Same groove.